Whoa, look, it's time to go viral. I'm homicidal, I'm killing all my rivals. I'm the man, shit, I put that on the Bible. I Spotify my target, cause you know I got the title. Hey, I'm a Mac too. I told baby, shake that ass like she Apple. She said it's real, so she got my name tattooed. House full, so I hit it in the back room. Whoa, baby said she need it now, peep the urgency. I want a little Kim before she had the surgery. Leg spread on that hardcore poster. She love twerking, she just do it for the coach. Big dog, bull master. 6 tray Chevrolet, I'm classic. All these niggas mad at me, that's tragic. The main bitch in the bed, that's graphic. Yeah, we about to go viral. Hey.
What's the deal, people? It's your boy, the one and only, your host that do the most, Mr. Viral himself, aka the villain. Cause they hate me for my opinion. Damn, no air horn? That's crazy. Welcome to another episode of the Viral Way Podcast. Make sure you share, like, subscribe to the channel. As always, I got my co-host with me, the one and only, the Messiah. And this episode is real near and dear to me. This is a special episode. This is a topic that I feel the world should be talking about. And it's a topic that is getting brushed under the rug. And I'm confused as to why. First, I want to say shout out to the directors and everybody behind the movie Sound of Freedom. I just went and saw that today. So shout out to y'all because the mainstream media has not been putting any light on this movie. So I want to make sure I do my part to put light on that. So if you haven't seen that, please go see that. Now, we got a special guest in the house. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Who we got here to the right?
What's going on, people? My name is Black Biden.
We got Black Biden in the house. And are you from Long Beach?
Originally from the Dirty South.
Okay, from the Dirty South.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the connection with the Sound of Freedom is I was scrolling TikTok. I seen a video of Mr. Black Biden's here that caught my attention. And I felt like the world needed to know about his movement and what he got going on. So run that video for me, Solomon.
Jason Molina, I know where you live, bro. I know where you live. Jason Molina, where you going, bro? Where you going?
You ought to stop.
You better stop. You better stop.
Hey, all right, what are you for? Let me see your hand. Hands up. Hands up right now.
That's
deep. That's deep. So me being a Long Beach native and me seeing a pedophile getting chased down in Long Beach automatically caught my attention. So I scrolled some more of his content and I'm like, well, damn, he doing this for a living damn near. Like this the new Chris Hansen over here. So you know what I'm saying? The world needs to know about your movement, bro. That's why I brought you on. You got your crew here with you. You can introduce them. They can introduce themselves and give us a little background on your movement pretty much.
All right, well, right here to my right here, I have my decoy, my main decoy that I use for certain things that we do. And then all the way down to the end is my security / second cameraman.
I just want to, before we get too much into it, I want to salute y'all because we need more people like you. You know what I mean? There be a lot of this stuff going on up under our noses, and a lot of us don't even got a clue. You know what I mean? Like you said, seeing them videos, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Because I got nieces, I got all type of stuff that goes to schools and stuff in these communities. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we don't know.
Yes,
and at this rate, that sex trafficking stuff, it's been at a higher rate nowadays. Yeah. So it's big that you're exposing them people. And like I said, you're doing more work than I would say a lot of people are actually doing in the community.
Yeah, but it's not always positive feedback for me actually doing this. Like you will be amazed at some of the negative I get. They sit there and say, oh, you should just try to be a real cop, or why you being a fake cop? Why you messing with him? All of this extra stuff, bro.
Definitely want to salute y'all. Like he said, definitely congratulations on all the success that you've got thus far, despite the criticism from whoever. Yeah. I want to personally salute y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need a whole lot more of y'all in the communities. So to everybody watching out there, if you haven't put 2 and 2 together, my man, Mr. Black Biden, he's been catching pretty much pedophiles, potential human sex traffickers, XYZ.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So I'm tongue tied right now.
Yeah, so he basically been exposing them, and we are saluting because we definitely are against that. Niggas know how it is where we from, and we don't do none of that type of behavior. So even exposing that, and like you said, the negative feedback, I believe you should just take that with a grain of salt because some people always gonna have something to say. No matter what level you at in life, people always gonna have something negative, and it's fuck them if you are against his movement. Why you shouldn't be a real cop or whatever. Right. Maybe more people, it should be done. If these people are still walking around doing what they do, ain't no telling what they did before. You didn't expose them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because I done ran into a couple of them that said they actually had real victims before.
I'm sure they have. They so quick to meet up and do all that and link, like they for sure thinking they got another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think the general public realizes how big this trafficking issue is because it doesn't get talked about. And it's just, like you just hear about it briefly, but it's like, all right, it doesn't affect my personal life, so I kind of ignore it. So here's a few statistics for the people out there. There are 27.6 million trafficked persons globally today, and almost 20% are children. Wow. Approximately 350,000 children are reported missing every year in the U.S. Of that total, it's estimated 100,000 are being trafficked. Child sex trafficking has been reported in all 50 U.S. states. So every state in the U.S., this is going on. The 2021 Federal Human Trafficking Report stated that 57% of human trafficking victims were minors. The United States is one of the top destinations for human trafficking and is among the largest consumers of child sex. So right in our own backyard is where it's going on the most. Human trafficking is a 150 billion with a B, per year business. That's more than the NFL, the NBA, the MLMB, and the NHL combined. It has eclipsed the illegal arms trade. So this is like the biggest industry going.
Wow.
And it's only getting bigger every year. So this is why we need more people like you and your team out here to try to deter this, because it's damn near getting to the point where it's the norm right now.
Yeah, because I've only been doing this almost a year, about 9 months strong. And total, I've already caught 93 people. One time, I actually caught 3 in one night.
93 people in less than a year. That's deep.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So to get a little background on you, where did you get the name? That's an interesting name. I'm like, damn, Black Biden, where this come from?
So the name, I started out doing comedy skits on TikTok. That's how I just started out. My daughter told me before, it's like, oh, you should try TikTok, whatever. So I got on there, and most of my content was just, showing Biden or whatever. So I did a contest one day once I kind of blew up on there. So I did a contest for my followers to say, okay, I'm going to let you guys pick my name. Pick whatever name you want to start calling me by. So I did the contest, and Black Biden was one, something the Great, and a bunch of other stuff. But did the little spinning wheel, and Black Biden won.
Black Biden
That just stuck.
It just stuck.
You support Biden?
Crickets on that one.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get too political.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
So what motivated you to start your movement?
Pretty much, I started seeing that it was a big problem in the world. And then one day I just got online and was just like, people that like to meet kids. Literally, that's all I did. And it took me to a YouTube video, and I saw somebody was actually doing what I'm doing right now. So I was like, oh, we can actually do this as regular citizens. I didn't even know this. So I started watching more other people's content, and then I feel like I got the balls enough to get out there and do something because I actually care. Some people that actually do it, they don't care. They just doing it for content or just popularity. They don't care about trying to make a change or get these laws stricter for these people. But me personally, I was like, wow, if I can be a part of making these laws stricter for these pedophiles, I want to do something about it, and this is what I started doing.
That's deep. So how did you put your team together? Did you just, after you figured this out on YouTube, you came to them with the information?
Well,
or you did like a trial run?
No, I started just doing it by myself. And then, like the first time, no cap, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous as fuck, bro. Like, just walking up to the person, because you were like, damn, person is looking for a 13-year-old or 14-year-old. When they see me, no telling how they're going to react. So all of that just hit me at the same time, and I'm by myself. And so after a while, after about, say, the fifth person, I started, asking my brother, it's like, hey, man, you want to try to, catch some of these creeps with me? You know what I'm saying? Let's make a difference out here in the world, something positive. So he came on a couple of runs with me. It was dry runs because some of these guys, they flake. And so I just started, making posts like, look, I'm looking for people that want to join me on this movement, try to catch pedophiles. Send me information. Like, you cannot have like a bad background, because when we do call the law, they want your information. If they run your name and shit, you got warrants, you're going to jail along with the damn pedophile. So I started, putting stuff out there like that, and people was literally hitting me. Like, I have decoys in this city, the UK, all over the US pretty much. I have people all over the place talking to pedophiles that are out here and sending me the chat logs, pictures of them to use or whatever as decoys.
Damn. Now with the movement, you said you get a lot of negative feedback.
Yeah.
What's the feedback like from actual law enforcement?
No, it started out bad. It started out to where they was like, oh, we're not going to come out there because it's not a real child, but they forgetting the intent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, if it was a real child, this guy's actually here, he would have did the crime all the way. But then they forget the crimes online. You still cannot chat with a minor sexually. That's a felony. Only if they go basically off what they think in their mind. If they believe it's a child that they chatting with, they are committing a crime. So the cops started out not coming. Once a couple of them came and they saw that I was legit, that I was serious about it, I'm not disrespectful, I have all my real evidence, I don't doctor anything, they was like, yo, man, like, you're different than other people we actually ran into. And since then, like, I can just call. I have actually law enforcement people that I can just call them like, oh, I got this going on this day, have a unit ready over there at this time.
See, that kind of bothers me that that they so nonchalant about this type of stuff. Like, I used to watch To Catch a Predator.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be one of my favorite shows. I used to love seeing them just get them off the streets until I found out like nothing was really happening to these dudes. Where to the point a lot of them was on the show 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time they getting let back out. So now a light bulb in my head went off, was like, hold on, what's really going on out here that a crime so heinous, law enforcement is completely ignoring? Because if I'm on the phone with him conspiring to go rob something, even though we didn't really do it, our ass still going to jail.
Yep.
Or I'm on the phone with him conspiring to go pull a hit. They gonna say, oh, yeah, it's conspiracy to murder. Your ass going to jail, but you can conspire to
harm a child.
Sexually harm a child, and oh, well, he didn't really do it. It wasn't a real child. Oh, we can't do nothing about it. That's kind of alarming to me.
Yeah, I mean, we have to fight more with the district attorneys. It's not more like, the beat cops or whatever. They do what they can, but we have to push the laws, to the DAs because they the ones that accept the cases or deny them. And so a lot of the time when I first started, the cops were like, man, the DA ain't going to take this. The DAs are just going to reject it. But as I got better, the DA started taking my cases. Even when cops would come on different calls, they were like, have you got any anywhere with any of these? I'm like, yeah, I got plenty convictions already.
That's crazy. I was gonna ask you, you ain't ever thought about like when you caught them, no combat, or they ain't never tried to fight you, or because I would think in my mind like I would catch one of these niggas and fuck them up. It's like because ain't nothing else finna happen.
Trust me, I always it's more nerves at the start, and when if I feel the need to where I want to like man, cut the cameras. It's more when they sit there trying to lie and justify the shit that they were saying to a minor. It's like, bro, you know what? You need to get your ass whooped right now.
Right.
But I know what I'm really trying to reach, so I can't go that route.
No, I know what you're saying. You want it to be exposed on a higher scale versus just handle it and then it's gone. Like
yeah. I mean, some of them they have to register as a sex offender for life. So imagine trying to get a job, move in somewhere, anything. They gonna know who you are.
What type of feedback, or have you got any feedback from like city officials, like higher ups?
None.
Zero?
What do they offer
Zero.
you? Anything?
Nothing.
Just a pat on the back, basically. Good job.
That's pretty much it. Like, I get more positive feedback, though, just from the officers in the field that actually come, and they be like, bro, like, you know, you actually doing a real good job. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad that nobody's giving you big recognition for this. Like, something for the city.
Right.
Because most of the ones I done caught was in Long Beach. You know, I done caught them all over. Orange County, L.A., which I don't like going to L.A. because they definitely don't do shit out there. They would literally come, talk to the creep is what I call them, and let them leave right then and there.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. I think people need to start putting more pressure on these city officials about things like this. Because, like, what the fuck you doing with our tax dollars? If we got all these motherfucking predators out here, like, I'm literally showing you damn near 100 of them in less than a year. And it's just me. So imagine if it was 10 of me, how many we would be catching.
Right.
This shit need to be pushed to the top of the list, especially with the sex trafficking that's going on worldwide. I mean, I just read the numbers out. It's insane out here.
Definitely, bro.
What about the, like, you say you was getting negative feedback. What is they mad that you doing what you doing?
Yeah, they were like, oh, somebody's just doing it for content, or you doing it to make money, or you just a fake superhero. I'm just like, bro, I don't care about no heroism or none of that, or money. Like, my videos are on Rumble. Right. Yeah, I don't make money on Rumble. I don't make money anywhere. I do this to make it aware to the issue that's going on. I don't care about the money. If I can continue catching these dudes and living my regular life still, I'm going to keep doing it.
My thing is, even if you was making money, people should be happy about that. Not only happy, people should be donating. Like, hey, how can I help? If I can't physically get out here in the field with you, let me at least put some dollars to your movement. Yeah. So that makes me think, like, damn, do you agree with this shit? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Society is going to a strange place right now. They're trying to normalize adults in minor sexual relationships.
Yeah, like that.
To where you even seeing congressmen saying, oh, yeah, it's normal for a full-blown man to marry a 12-year-old. Right. And people is agreeing with the shit. So it's like, we got to draw the line in the sand as a society, or you're going to lose the kids in a minute, and it's going to be the norm.
In a way, that's kind of what it seems like, where the world is trying to lead to where we don't have any control over our kids.
It's a fact.
You know, and it's a sad thing to see.
They spoke on that to where the government is basically saying, like, these are my kids. Like, these ain't even y'all kids no more.
I believe Michigan just passed a law to where they pretty much have more say-so over your kids than you do.
Yeah, that's going on pretty much worldwide. I don't know if you saw, recently was big news. California voted down the SB 14 bill. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit, but then they changed it.
They did. They reversed it and brought it back. But basically, it was the bill that would make sex trafficking a serious crime, or like sex crimes against minors a serious crime, punishable up to like life in prison under the 3 strikes law.
That shit should have been done.
It seems like a no-brainer, but from what I was reading, because I think it was 6 people who voted the shit down pretty much so it wouldn't pass through, because before that, before it reached the status to where it would get voted in as official, it was no brainer. All 40 people voted for it pretty much. But when it reached the final voting, the 6 people voted it down. And from what I was reading, it was 2 reasons. They said because the 3-strike law disproportionately affects blacks and Hispanics, so they didn't want that tied in with this. So I don't know why they played the race card with that to try to mix it up.
Right.
And another reason they said was, I think some of the wording, the victims themselves actually could be incarcerated. So say a child got kidnapped or whatever the case, and the sex trafficker or whoever told him like, hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z, like tie them up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you did it out of fear of trying to stay alive. They'll say, okay, well, you aided this person, so you are part of the crime now. Even though they're the victim, just doing what they got to do to stay alive. How you feel about that?
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I mean.
Yeah, because with these bills, I think it was like a couple 100 pages. This seemed like something that should have been less than 3 pages, open and shut. But I feel like they put so much wording in it to where somebody's going to disagree because it's just too much wording in it. Right. It should really be open and shut. Hey, you trafficking kids, fuck jail. You belong in a graveyard in my book. Fuck all this jail shit. Castration, graveyard. That's how I feel about it. But
I'm not against that.
how you feel about that, Messiah?
Man, I feel I feel like the law is more designed to sometimes leave people that's in cahoots with that type of stuff a way out, just in case if that was ever exposed. So 9 times out of 10, them laws is made in the discretion of somebody that's condoning that, or just they don't have no problems against it. Like you just said, if they already want men to be able to deal with 12-year-old kids and marry them and stuff like that, and of course they have no problem. That's to them that ain't no serious crime, obviously. So it is what it is. Like I said, I just feel like what you doing, you doing the right way. I just got a different little mentality. As far as having a squad and catching them and fucking them up and making them do something else like that, then that might be a little different. Because I don't think jail actually always help people. Not help everybody, but no sense. They don't get no real time for that type of shit. Yeah, they don't. And like you said, the intent, if nothing is going on, they're gonna be right out on fucking OR or something.
Yeah, because I think that the answer people usually give is, hey, we gotta vote, we gotta vote. But with shit like this, you see, that's a part of the Matrix mind games, this voting shit. It's like, why are we voting on stuff that should be open and closed in my book? It should be a no-brainer. But I wanna get some background from your decoy. Is this your first decoy?
I had a couple of other ones before, but this is the main one that know what she be doing.
This the main decoy? Yes. Okay, so are you like chatting with him online, or he's chatting with him online, and then when they show up, they talk to you, or how does?
So we both chat, so we have access to the chats together, and we conspire as well. Like we go back and forth, and we're like, well, we should say this, we should say that. So it's a team work on what to say. So I also know what goes down when I meet the people, and then I also am the Snapchat decoy where I send photos that they want, and we try to find loopholes. Like they ask for like very graphic things, and we're like, oh well, I can't. Like my grandma looks in my phone or something. Like we try to play that innocent child type thing, and they go for it, obviously. But I do like a lot of the Snapchatting with the photos and all that stuff, and I meet them, and I basically just lead them to wherever I have to take them until he can get to them with law enforcement and all that stuff.
How do you feel in them moments, like meeting them?
Whew. It's pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie, just because I look like I'm the age that they want to meet.
Right.
So when they see me, they don't see me as a threat. They see me as an innocent child. And knowing that they see me that way, I always think, what if they just wanted to snatch me because they know they can? They don't know, that I know how to defend myself. But what if they just wanted to, Like that's always just things that go through my head when I'm doing these types of things. And I'm very aware of my surroundings as well, because a lot of them are sneaky.
Right.
Like I've actually never had to make contact until our last one. And that one is what really just kind of set me off on the anxiety part, because when you're in the moment, you have to stay in character. You can't be like, oh, I don't want to do this. You have to do it. And in that moment, it's just more of like, you go with it because you have help on the way.
Do you think this affects you, like, in your everyday life? Because you know that this many people is around. Like, say if you out by yourself, just regular in the streets, does that affect you now? Do you think more like it's potential pedophiles out here?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I could walk around and be like, oh my God, he looks like he would want to mess with the kid. Right. Or I'll see someone that looks like somebody we caught. Like after the longshoreman dude that we caught, I think I saw maybe 4 or 5 people, and I'm like, is he out? Like, is he here? Did he come back? And I'm just like, oh my God. There's times where you see someone who looks like somebody that you caught. And then there's just that little bit of fear, because you're like, crap, they got out. And a lot of them aren't smart, but some of them are probably smart enough to, go back to where they were and try to see if that person that caught them is lingering around.
Right.
So that's why, when we do the catches, we hide certain things that are noticeable in our everyday lives. So I have different appearances every time I go up to them, and then I have my own appearances when I'm on my own on the street.
So when when you're doing basically the decoy thing, are you having to actually physically go places with these guys, or is it more so, hey, we just trying to get you out to where your team can intervene?
So we meet them in public. There's they obviously always come to the location that we send them, and I stand there, and it's always a store. And I try to get them like, hey, can you like come in the store and buy me a soda? Or it's like, if it's where Starbucks is, can you go inside and buy me a Starbucks drink? Like, I'm thirsty, you know? And they always fall for it. But then there's going to be that one slick person who's going to try to be like, well, just get in the car. Yeah. Just come on. Like, we'll go. And I'm like, no. And the thing is I'm so quick with my words. I can stall them enough until they can run up and do what they have to do. There's one time where the guy was supposed to go in and buy me a soda, and he had already bought a soda. Oh, yeah. And it was, the way he went about it was ready. He kind of like was sneaky. First of all, he drove up somewhere he wasn't even supposed to drive up, where I was waiting for him. Tried to get me to get in the car then. I came up with something. Didn't mention he had a soda yet. He pulls up the long way to where I told him to meet me originally. And then I was like, okay, well, let's go get it. And he's like, well, I already have it. Already has a straw in it. Right. And I'm like, if I would have been a child and I drank it, I could have got laced.
That's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, you'd have been out somewhere. Yeah.
So you being more like the security, is there any moments to where they're getting aggressive when they find out who you guys are? Or is it more so they retreating every time?
No, not necessarily. I haven't been on one where they got, a little extra. But it was one recently where he kept reaching in his pocket, and I'm watching him because I'm pretty close to him, so I'm always close. So he's kept reaching, and I look, and it looked like a knife though. So I was like, hey bro, man, why you keep reaching? Like, what you got right there? And he was like, oh man, it's just a box cutter. I was like, oh, I'm just making sure, man, because you keep reaching. So. But other than that, man,
I know him to keep everybody pretty calm.
So would they be more in shock or shame or what? What you think? Like,
everything, bro. Yeah. Shock, ashamed, scared.
I done had them drive off and come back just to talk to me because that's my thing. Damn. Let's have an easy conversation, or you can talk to the police. You know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, that shit works. They rather sit there and talk to me, not knowing that I'm just waiting on the police to show up. You know what I'm saying? And it gets them to pretty much confess everything that they was going to do, which stands harder in court.
Yeah, more evidence.
What is the typical police reaction time to like, okay, bam, you on the scene, y'all did y'all stuff, you made the call. How long does it typically take them to show up?
It depends, man. Like, no cap, one time, well, we got tired waiting, so we let old boy go. About 2 hours and about fucking 45 minutes. Nobody
2 hours?
Up. Yes. I ran out of shit to say to dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but I kind of understood that night because it was actually something was going on close to where we was at that night. Like a bunch of cars was racing and shit that they shouldn't have been doing. So they was more worried about that than something like what they call it, there's no real child being harmed. You know, that's what some of them say. Like some of the dispatch people, when you call in, like, oh yeah, I got this guy that's coming to meet 14-year-old girl for sex. Okay, well, it's the child there. Well, it's not a real child. He was chatting online, and he's coming to meet what he think is one. Oh, okay, well, I'm not going to send an officer to put his life in harm's way. Well, isn't that what the fuck they do?
Right, that's your job.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so you want me to just go and confront this dude by myself? But then that's when she came back with something saying like, oh, well, you're doing that on your own. You're putting your own self at risk type shit. So I called back up there to the station the following day and talked to some of my good friends up there, and she ain't there no more because she went by the wrong way.
Remember when they told us that we needed to call the FBI instead?
Yeah. I'm like, lady, you don't...
So she got fired for dealing with you?
Yeah, because she refused to send a unit. You have to send a unit no matter what.
The lady that you was talking to got fired.
Yeah.
See, this what makes people think that people on the higher ups are involved in this type of shit, because for what reason would it be taking 2 hours for somebody to come to a scene like this? And what reason is it being so nonchalantly ignored?
Yeah.
Because people will say you a conspiracy theorist if you say, hey man, these politicians, these people, these high ups with the money, they involved in this shit. They got their hands in this shit, which is why the laws, you damn near slap on the wrist for fucking molesting a kid, but you do a robbery or sell some drugs and you damn near got life in prison.
Facts.
it's not, the numbers ain't making no sense with the punishment for the crime.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm actually not surprised though, because me growing up in Long Beach, I know the police, they don't really protect, they react. You know what I mean? So things happen, they're not really gonna protect you. After the scene or whatever, the crime scene is over, they might react and pull up, and however long they do. So it's not really surprising, but this would make me think while I was thinking, like, if you catching them and doing what you do yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, I know they don't give a fuck. It might be different, let that happen in Orange County. They're gonna be in that bitch in 5 minutes probably.
Yeah,
Probably quicker than that. But so it just depends where you at, really.
Yeah. I done had some in Long Beach, though. They literally showed up before the creep got there. And I was like, God damn, like you here before him, you're gonna scare him off.
Right.
But the dude didn't get scared off, ended up getting arrested.
2 hours is absurd.
Big time.
Yeah, see, me, I got the same mindset as you. Is like, me, I would personally want to harm these people. I would personally want to fuck these people up. But I know a lot of people out there who would be thinking about doing this, would be thinking about the repercussions for them doing that. Is you probably gonna get in more trouble.
Yep.
Not even probably. You're gonna get in more trouble than the actual perp itself. He fuck around and get let go, and now you going to jail for assault and shit. So I think a lot of that stops people from wanting to get out there or whatever the case.
No, I wouldn't suggest that for nobody. Don't think how I think.
No, when I used to go
I
live,
just say,
people used to always be in the comments like, oh, you should just hit him one time or fucking make him do this. I'm like, bro, y'all wilding in the comments right now. And take me off what I'm trying to do.
Now, has there been any moments to where you felt like, damn, my life is really in danger right now? Like any super dangerous moments?
Yeah, I'd say I had 2. One, it was this one dude from Orange County area, and he somehow I have my email address up, but I guess he somehow was good with computer shit, and he got to doing some other stuff and emailed me and was all like, telling me personal stuff about myself.
He did his homework on you.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking, I'm like, I know what he's trying to do, but I'm not gonna let him know that I'm scared, even though I was, though, you know what I'm saying? Because he was talking about like my kids and shit, you know what I'm saying?
How the fuck he find this out?
Exactly. So I was just like, I'm gonna play, I'm hard as fuck. So I said, all right, bro, if you wanna play that game, just come on out here. Or if you that mad, just meet me somewhere we can get down. If you that mad because you got caught trying to meet an underage girl for sex and your wife left you and you got fired, if you that mad and you want to fight me, I'm down to get down. Like I tell him sometimes, like, bro, I'm down to take lumps, but I guarantee you I'm going to walk off.
Go ahead.
No, because I was going to say, I was thinking about that because I was talking about this with somebody earlier, and I was saying, like, the things that you are doing could be like, or somebody that's trying to be low key and doing what they doing like that, and then finally getting exposed. I would think that could trigger some people to be violent. That's why I was asking that, like what he just asked you, because I know people like that ain't no telling what they'd do, put in the corner, like a cat in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that one guy that was screaming in one of the catches I did. That was another one that was kind of dangerous afterwards or whatever, because his family started contacting one of my decoy Facebook accounts. And so, but they was going off on like, oh, you're going to get your karma. It's right up the street from you. You didn't even tell my brother or whatever he was to them, like, oh, that you was underage, you lied. We're going to sue you and them 2 dudes that was there. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You're that mad at a 14-year-old girl because your brother got locked up for trying to mess with her. But see, the thing was, he lied to them, saying that the girl never told him. So responding as the decoy, it's like, well, just wait till court. You'll see everything if he decides to fight it. So at court, they saw the video of him sitting there saying, I asked him. Like, if you saw a lot of my content, I always asked him, how old is the girl you came here to meet? And himself, 14. So where in the hell do you see that this girl never told him how old she was?
Right.
Have you come across any high profile people like, or people in positions of power? Or you like, God damn.
Well, not positions of power. I got a UCLA professor.
Wow.
Who else was big time?
Oh,
the
Disneyland.
The Disneyland guy. That was a big video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
That's
big
crazy.
one
There
too.
was
You know,
a
it's a whole
Disney
lot of
news
shit with that
article
Disney.
about you too.
Oh yeah, they did a news article about that one.
About the Disneyland guy?
Yeah, 'cause that one, it was going around big time. But I had a lot of undercover people inside Disneyland still. So literally about 8 months afterwards, no, like 6 months, he got his damn job back.
And that's crazy because there's a lot of conspiracies online about Disneyland and the kids that disappeared from Disneyland, and a lot of people that went undercover and was showing these secret tunnels that they got and saying that was tied in to the kids disappearing and tied into the sex trafficking shit. So the fact that dude got his job back, that again raises
that's the perfect
suspicion.
example.
Like how in the fuck does this guy get his job back? You know what I'm saying? If all this shit is a conspiracy and none of the shit people are saying is true, how does something like that happen?
I mean, just versus when I was there, because I always try to confront them myself first to get the confession. So I go, they made me talk to security first. That dude definitely protects pedophiles. If you just listen to me talking to him, listen to the shit that he was saying, it's just like, bro, what the fuck? You just gonna let this go. And then you're gonna sit there and tell me, okay, well, I don't want you to go outside and talk to none of my security guards and let them know what's going on. Like, you're not gonna go out there and cause a ruckus or nothing, are you? Like, I just want everything to stay calm. No, this shit need to be known about. You have an employee that's here right now, invited a kid here. How's that nice?
Yeah, for them it's probably regular though. They probably know each other. They probably in cahoots, so you never know. And the fact that he got his job back on top of that is just off the strength. Let it die down. Go hide out, vacation for a little bit, and we'll see you in a few months when this shit go away.
See, this is my thing. Okay, we raise awareness. We know what's going on. Where does the public go from there? Because putting faith in these public officials, that's not even an option,
right?
In my opinion. Like you said, the police barely want to show up. You're getting zero backing from higher up officials. Like, you ain't even getting a thank you for helping clean the city up. Half the people is like, oh, you're a fake ass superhero, this and that. So in your opinion, how do people really put a stop to this? I know it ain't gonna happen overnight, but me hearing people say just vote, vote, vote is like, I don't believe that.
In my opinion, I feel if more people be like me, get out there doing it, because it's gonna put fear into these creeps' minds. Now they don't know who the fuck they talking to or gonna end up meeting. If it's more people like me out there, and they don't have to just worry about law enforcement only, you know, more me as regular citizens doing it, it may make them slow down at least.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, you think it's making them. I think they are what they are. So I think what they might run around and do is try to be slicker about it. You know what I mean? Take more precautions about it. Try to move differently by even exposing it. That's why I keep going back to what I'm saying, because every time we get situations like this, I think you did the most that you can do besides take it to the violent acts. I think.
Listen, man,
because that's the only thing I can think. If they know, like 9 times out of 10, if it's a possibility of them getting fucked over when it does happen, that might make them really think a certain way. I really believe people only respect money and violence to most of the extent. But what you're doing is great. I believe that also. Like I said, this is just me thinking. Don't take my advice.
Yeah, but like you said, they only respect money and violence, and with the amount of money they're grossing off of human trafficking, they have the money.
Right.
So the only other option to me is the violence, because these motherfuckers start getting their dicks cut off, you're gonna start thinking twice about trying to meet up with a kid. Because ultimately, I believe that's what need to happen anyway. You got any type of sexual, anything to do with a kid, your right to be a man at that point is done. Your right to be alive is done in my book. Yeah. But if you don't want to take it to that extent, castration. Yep. You're done as far as that goes. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
It's crazy because in different places, they really bringing you out in front of the whole city. And they fucking you over for whatever you done did. If you done stole, they chopping your shit off, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case it may be. They're going to really humiliate you in front of everybody and unalive your ass.
Yeah. Right in front of everybody.
We need a whole lot more unaliving. But it's crazy. It feels like people feel helpless. Because how do you combat 150 billion per year when the average person ain't got 10,000 in their bank account? Man. And then you see the Epstein shit with all that shit going on, and it's like, damn, what happened with that case? What happened with the flight log and the visiting log? You swept that under the rug. Oh, the cameras went out. He magically dead, but then they got some footage online where it looked like he still was back on the island damn near.
Man, he probably is, bro.
Then it's whistleblowers coming out saying that that was just one island. It's dozens of these islands all over the motherfucking place. So it's like, goddamn, how do we combat this? And like you said, we need more people like you. So to the people that want to be like you or want to join up with you, how do they get in contact with you to be able to do so? If they see your video and get inspired to take action, like I did, how can they find you?
So like, I don't mind like giving out certain tips because there's certain ways you have to go about with chatting to these people without an entrapment charge. So like, if you guys really, really want to try to get into this, feel free to email me. blackbiden83@gmail.com. I respond pretty good to everybody, you know what I'm saying? But if I see in the title that you're saying, oh, I want to join the movement, I will read that shit first because I'm really trying to make this a big thing and I'm really trying to make some changes about this shit.
Yeah, I feel like, because I got kids, so like I said, this touches me directly as I'm watching that movie. These kids is my kids' age, and I couldn't even imagine no shit like that. Like, you just come home and your kid is gone, and that's it, and they in the motherfucking jungle somewhere with some pedophile. Like, that shit is deep. That shit is deep, and I feel like society needs to take this a lot more serious than they're taking it. We arguing over stupid shit like what gender this guy want to be or what gender this lady want to be.
Man.
When this shit is going on right under your nose.
Right. It's a distraction.
There you go. There you go. It's a super distraction.
Big time.
Now, you said you got decoys in other states and around the country. How did that come about? Was it the same thing? They seen the videos and reached out?
Yep, seen the videos, reached out to me and was like, oh, man, if I can help out any kind of way, like, I'm down for it. And then also some of my TikTok fam, like, in Long Beach, when I do catches, to make the arrest, you have to turn in the cell phone so they can actually make the arrest. So some of my followers on there, they was donating money, to get phones. Because, it was killing my pockets. I got my own kids, my own life to be worried about. So I made a post one day. I was like, yeah, I might have to slow down because, they want these phones to make the arrest now. I got my own bills and shit like that. But I'm like, but I don't ask for money for nothing. I said, but if y'all feel the need to want to donate to help me continue getting these people arrested, feel free to just donate whatever you can.
Oh, they take your phone?
Well, I have decoy phones, like, burners and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, them the ones I be getting from, regular stores.
Okay, and when they get arrested, like you said, you caught 93, do they ever give you the feedback of what happened with the arrest? Like, okay, out of 93, we convicted 50.
Well, because most of the ones that do get convicted, I have to go to court for. So I'm always there, and then they tell me what kind of deal that they may be trying to take. And sometimes they be like, are you okay with that? So they kind of leave it up to me if I want the deal to be a little harsher or whatever.
What type of deals are they throwing these fucking creeps?
Some lenient ass shit. So start with like 2 years probation, not like parole and just
crazy.
Regular probation, and then they have to take classes, and then have to register as a sex offender. And when it first started out, they was only making them register for 10 years. And then one of the latest ones I got, they made him register for life. And he had to take 2 different classes. I don't know what kind of classes, but I knew it was kind of bad for him because he had kids himself, and they started doing all this. That was one of the ones I was telling about that had me like a little worried. Actually, it's in one of the videos, the screaming guy.
Oh yeah, he was panicking.
Yeah, because he knew who was gonna find out what he did.
Yeah, I feel like you should have to register for life regardless.
Yeah, I thought you did. I never knew they had like years on that shit. Like a nigga just stopped after 10 years.
Yeah.
A nigga gonna be a felon forever.
Yeah, you're gonna be a felon forever if you don't get that pardon. That's crazy. That's crazy to me, man. This shit just tripped me out. How lenient they are with these motherfuckers. That makes me think, like, are you a part of this? Because y'all making these laws.
It gotta be, bro.
Y'all have the power to change shit.
Exactly.
And y'all not using it and not doing it. So you're kind of in agreement by default in my eyes, because there's no way shit like the SB 14 should be going on. Yep. That should have been a no-brainer, open and shut case. Right. And we sitting here with our jaws dropped like, I can't believe this shit.
Yeah. I was tripping out when they first shut it down. I'm like, why the hell would you shut that down?
Yeah, that's deep. That's super deep.
While we on this, I ran across something and I want to bring awareness to that too, because we just been speaking on this. But it said a woman disappears after calling 911 to report seeing child alone on I-459 in Hoover, was abducted shortly after stopping to check on child. Talitha Robinson Russell, I believe her name is. And it says, whatever city you're in, from 4 to 5, Birmingham, please go and let people know if y'all run into her. So just by trying to even be too nice and help people, now it make me think, could the child have been a decoy for her? You know what I mean? And they snatched her up after, or whatever the case it may be. So that's kind of deep, but it ain't really nobody exposing or even talking about that either.
They're
But
stepping their game up. It used to be, help me find my puppy, I lost my dog, or, you know, have you seen this? Or I want to show you like something over here.
Right.
And now they're using kids to lure adults. That's crazy. They're finding new tactics, and they shouldn't even be able to do that.
What was her name? I just saw that story earlier. Somebody sent me that story earlier.
I believe it's that Talitha Robinson Russell.
Yeah, I guess she was on the highway. She saw like a kid running down the highway, and she jumped out to help. And I think she was on the phone with like a family member or a friend.
She was trying to call 911. And as she did that to make the reports that the kid was out here, once she got off of that, they got.
Yeah, I think the person she was on the phone with said she heard her. Yeah, she said they heard her scream and the phone dropped, and that was the last they heard or seen from her. So, like you said, it's sounding like kids are now being used as decoys with the trafficking to traffic people, because humans, full-blown adults are being trafficked as well.
Oh yeah,
that's going on as well.
Definitely.
Even I want to say just to women, don't get out your car. I know y'all like nurturers and doing certain things, especially in the middle of the night. You can stay on your phone in the car or do what you do, especially if you ain't got nothing to protect yourself with.
Right.
The world we living in 2023, and especially if you ain't got no man or nothing with you, these are perfect examples of things that I hate to see this happen, but could have been prevented to more of an extent. So just be careful what y'all doing out here, especially moving solo.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I would encourage more people, not even just women, more people. You don't have a felony, go get that gun license, man. Arm yourself and take training. Take training to protect yourself.
Definitely, bro.
But yeah, as far as your movement in Long Beach, that's big for me because I'm from Long Beach, born and raised. So that is super big for me. And for people that want to get on your team in Long Beach, do you guys take donations, or for people that want to donate to the movement, like you said, you need burner phones, or you might need, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I do accept donations. I just don't push for any kind of funds because, you know, I'm making myself do this. I don't want other people to really try to think that they have to fund me to do what I decided to do. You know, but I'm not against people that feel like, oh, you know what, he's doing a real good thing out there. Let me just help him out. And I do accept that kind of help.
Okay, so you got like a Cash App or something we
can
put
up
there on the screen?
Cash App, Venmo. It's all on my TikTok profile.
Because I think when a lot of people see this, they're gonna be motivated to want to donate.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
You're doing a service, and that's what everybody gets paid for. You're doing a service. Anything in life should be paid for, especially at the rate you're doing it. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like you should be getting some city funding for this. Now, have you ever went and tried to not get city funding, but try to get more resources from the city, like as far as with maybe the governor or any of these city officials?
None. I'm actually trying to get to that stage right now because somebody was just like last week was talking to me like, oh, you should try to get to like turn it to like a nonprofit or something.
A nonprofit organization?
Yeah. So I was like, bro, I got a lot on my plate right now, what I'm doing. I can't really concentrate on that right now, but I see what you mean. But as far as going to like city officials and asking them for assistance or something like that, I haven't.
Okay.
Only really because I feel that they kind of are against it.
You getting that type of...
Yeah, so like why even get them involved?
Yeah, they are against it pretty much because like, I mean, except the new officers I deal with, they always tell me the same story. You know, we don't condone you. You're not supposed to be doing this. You know, we supposed to tell you you shouldn't do this because it's dangerous. Okay, I understand that, but I just saved a child tonight. How about we worry about that?
Yeah, that's deep. How you feel about that, Messiah? As far as him trying to get back in from the city?
I say I wouldn't. You could take that route. I mean, you can try just to have that under a notch as you tried to go that way. But I feel like you could build your own movement, your own thing from the ground up like you're doing already, and start showing people the way, and build from that way. Because I'm pretty sure there's other people that might be inspired by you or might want to do what you're doing. They might not have the same courage, but seeing you put yourself out there, or that might give them something else to work with. You know what I mean?
True that.
Now, do you have any women reaching out to want to be decoys?
Oh yeah, plenty. But some of them, they rather just do picture decoying. They not as much wanting to be out there
In the field.
When the action comes, they don't want to be
exactly.
there. Yeah, that's the story.
But see that I don't tell them everything right then and there. I want to see what they about. You know, are you at least strong enough in case we're not there in time? I don't let them know, like, dude, we always on the phone with you. Like, there's no way that anybody can do anything. We provide you with something, you know what I'm saying? And you're basically taken care of.
As it being two of y'all, you don't think it'd be best if one of y'all always had eyes on the decoy?
Oh, we always do.
From a distance. So that way they wouldn't even have to really even be worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we always have eyes on the decoy and while we're on the phone at the same time, so we can hear as she's conversing with the creep. Hear what he's saying, hear what she's saying to him, and then we use that. And then once they start walking to like the area where we need him to get to where he can't just drive off real fast, boom, we right there. It's just sometimes the public, they intervene too much. They be like so in shock, so they come messing with you while you trying to handle your business.
Or they'll be the drunk ones that are trying to be funny because they see a camera, and then it messes everything up.
Oh, people doing that weird shit.
They
That's
think
crazy.
they on some, like how they be acting on cheaters and shit.
Yeah. There was one dude, he came in all on my shoulder. He was like, what are you guys doing? I see somebody outside with a camera. I'm like, bro, like I'm handling business. Get the fuck out of here, bro. But the store lady, she knows me. She know what I'm doing. And she kicked him out like, dude, leave him alone. He's handling something.
Yeah, they ass want to be on camera.
I told him, you don't want to be on this show.
Right.
So what motivates y'all to keep going? Because most people don't do anything unless there's some type of monetary gain from it. Like you said, you guys aren't getting any money from this and barely any recognition from this. And I know most people probably would have quit by now. So what keeps you guys motivated to keep going?
For me personally, because I grew up, being a girl and being taught, don't do this by yourself. You can't go after this time by yourself. I don't think that's a society that women should have to worry about living in, especially kids. Like, nowadays, kids can't even go play or ride their bike to their friend's house because it's not safe. And, kids hear their parents, well, I used to be able to do this and do that, and we can't even do that because of how dangerous it is and how sick people are in their head. And one thing that pushes me to keep going is just because I also have a personal passion. And since I'm starting off kind of in my life, this is just something that kind of helps me gain some type of experience. So when I get to where I want to be professionally, I can lean back on this and be like, hey, like, this is nothing new to me. Like, I already have this passion. I'm enthusiastic. And to show that I didn't do it for money or for fame or anything, they're like, okay, you're passionate. You actually want to do this job. Mm-hmm. And then, it's just more of like, if I was to have kids one day, I want my kids to have a safe environment to be in. I don't want them to have to worry about if someone is going to snatch them up in a van or something. And, it's just, even like if you have someone that's younger than you that you just care for, a family member or something, you're always going to have that going on in your head. And that's not something that someone should be thinking about constantly.
Yeah, I want to commend you on that, especially being a female and being as brave as you are to do that, because in the society we are now where everybody just seems to only care about what's going on with them, it's rare to find people, especially younger women, who care about things outside themselves and willing to put themselves on the line to make a change. So that's super deep.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
That's dope.
Trying to get a change going, man.
That's a prime example. You know what I'm saying? I think more women should follow that path, because our community, especially the Black community, there's a lot of self-destruction going on. So
Exactly.
you are a great example.
Facts.
I try.
Nah, you doing more than trying.
Yeah, you're doing more than trying. You putting action to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most people, they just, they want to pray their problems away, but prayer without action is dead. So you guys are actually out here putting action to
Exactly.
what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just talking about it and complaining about it. Y'all actually boots on the ground.
Yeah.
We need more of that, especially in the black community, because that's what used to empower us, boots on the ground.
Right.
We used to get out here and get things done. So you guys inspiring me like a motherfucker. I'm telling you, I was in that movie just watching that screen like, man, you know, I gotta get out here with Black Bite, man. Fuck this, man.
I can hit you
gotta
up,
hit
bro.
the field, man.
I can
'cause
bring you on one of the catches. I got one coming up Monday.
look, tap in with me, man, because I'm telling you, movies usually don't move my emotions, but watching that movie, that brought me some real emotions out of me. Like real talk. Like this type of stuff just ignites the fire in me.
Yeah.
I don't know if none of y'all seen that movie yet, but
Yeah, I
advise
tapped in a
people
little
to.
bit with it, and I'm not gonna cap the start of it. Seeing the kids just getting snatched up, dude, like it brought tears to my eyes because I started thinking about, you know, the ones that I kept from being harmed that night from that certain person, and I'm just like, this could have been that kid that night. It really just touched me, bro. I literally was sitting there just tearing up by myself watching it. But then as I'm watching it, the whole time I'm trying to figure out what's the reason why they swept it under the rug. I couldn't really pay full attention to like the main story. I'm just trying to figure out why wasn't they trying to promote this movie as it should have been. I couldn't find anything besides they was talking about God. And it feels like some movies that it's like they don't want people to talk about God or something no more.
Yeah, they're trying to remove that from society, it seems. I think they said the movie was done 5 years ago, and it took 5 years to get it to the mainstream, to get it on screen. And even now that it's on screen, I think like some of the movies, they've been cutting the ACs off or acting like the power's going out, and
Exactly.
it's getting zero promotion at all.
Free tickets.
Right. I think with movies like this and people finding out more of the statistics and the information of what's really going on with this trafficking shit, I think more people will start to take the route you're going. But I just think most people,
so.
out of sight, out of mind, they don't really realize what's going on.
Yeah, but I like, not to cut you off, but I ain't seen no billboards, I ain't seen no commercials. I ain't really seen nothing on that. So it's like, but when it's the bullshit, they feeding it down your throat. You know what I mean? So I think it's more so back what we always talk about, just waking people game up. It's like they got to put it out there, but they don't really want people to know.
I don't think they realized they did a lot more. By trying to keep it out of the media, it just brought it more up for people because think about it, when you take something from somebody, they want it even more. So by you not putting it in the media, they're like, well, I want to see why you're not doing it.
Right.
So instead of keeping promotion, they're actually giving that promotion because there's a lot of people speaking up on it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't even know nothing about the movie at all till one of my fans commented on one of my catch videos, like, oh, I just saw this movie. Oh, it reminded me of you. I'm like, and I just Googled it right then. I'm like, damn, I ain't heard nothing about this.
What'd you say the movie was again?
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, I just heard about it right now when you were saying it, when you said about it the first time. Though.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever heard about it.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to
crazy.
watch it before the show just to get me in that mode. And like I said, just leaving that theater, it was like I had the urge to want to do something other than what we've been doing, other than voting, other than talking about it. Like, you guys are out here actually catching these guys, making a difference. That's where the change comes from.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it too, the way I get down with doing my catches versus some of the other people that do it. I try to get more into these creeps' head. Figure out what the fuck is wrong with you? What was you thinking when you sent this nasty ass text to this little kid? You know, like this one guy traveled all the way from Riverside to Santa Ana. He thought he was coming to meet a 14-year-old girl and a 13-year-old girl, 2 girls. He bought a sex toy that he wanted to give to the main girl that he was chatting with and a cell phone that he programmed to the sex toy so when he's at home, he can have her using the toy while he at home.
Right.
And bought Molly, crystal meth to smoke with them girls.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Now, when you chatting with these guys, does any of this shit affect you in your personal life to where it's like, you know what, this just fucked up my whole day?
It's been plenty of times, like, when I first started out, it was fucking with me a lot. And then, like, it was hard to text with my regular friends on a daily. You know, I'm thinking that I'm talking to creeps. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, this shit is really fucking with me, bro. Like, I can't even converse regularly like I normally would do. I'm just so in tune with what these guys are saying and how to try to respond back to them. So it kind of seemed like it kind of overtook how I act. So every time when I'm trying to react with certain ways with my regular peoples, it's almost like I'm doing it in a role way, you know, because I'm so much in tune with these fools, making sure that they really think that they're talking to a child. Because, you know, some of them try to trip you up with some shit that they say, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, because I don't know if you're aware of this thing called the dark web.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's like the black market of the internet, and it's where a lot of these fucking creeps go, where you can order kids off the internet. Like,
sad.
It's fucking disgusting.
On, like Wayfair or something, it was like you were ordering like furniture, but then like the code on the bottom was like for a specific kind of like kid or something.
Oh, insane! I know what you're talking about. It's like they had it like. It's like you think you buying some, like, say, I'm going to just use diapers as an example.
Yeah.
Make it seem like, but I'm going to order 30, and you know, like you said, it's a code of some kids or something. It's really that. But you know, you know type shit.
And
that whole Wayfair scandal
that
thing.
came out during like the time of COVID, and then it was mainstream for maybe like 2 weeks, and then something big happened to do with the pandemic, and then nobody talked about it ever again.
Distraction.
Yeah, that's crazy because I posted about that on Facebook and I got thrown in Facebook jail for it. Oh God, they like shut this nigga the fuck up
immediately.
Yeah, I just seen the memory the other day. But yeah, that's crazy because that's what I mean. Things like that's going on. All the proof is there, and it just gets brushed under the rug. Society is like, so what? And I don't know, man. This shit really bothers me, and I'm really one of them people we need some vigilante shit going on. Yeah. Like he said, don't take my advice, but take my advice. Because this voting shit is looking like, I ain't gonna say they all involved, but 150 billion per year ain't coming from broke people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any broke people that could get to these motherfucking islands. So that just open your eyes to who's really involved in this shit.
Facts.
And it's gonna take everybody involved to put an end to it.
Yep.
We all just can't sit back twiddling our thumbs waiting on certain politicians to make shit happen. It's like we got to be the ones to make it happen.
They going to protect themselves.
Right.
Man, they protect it.
Right. Damn, we running out of time. Any final words you got for us, Messiah?
Man, we appreciate y'all for coming on here.
I appreciate y'all inviting me on, man. I appreciate it. Get this awareness out there. I want everybody to know about this. You know what I'm saying? Know that it's a big problem. And check your kids' devices. As parents, check your kids' devices.
Yes. Check them devices.
That's for sure. That's what I really wanted to have dove into too. But it starts with checking your kids' devices.
Even checking your kids' devices, get the phones hooked up where the messages go to the parents.
Yep.
A lot of people I know, they say they don't even know nothing about that, but get everything. Have sensors on that stuff. Stop letting them be on them phones all goddamn day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Make their ass read some books or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Shoot, I'm wrong with that.
Y'all got any final words?
Honestly, I mean, you said it all. I mean, we're all for the same thing, you know.
We're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna keep doing this, man, until we can't no more.
Look, please keep going. Keep pushing. Like I said, I want to come on one of these buses, but you might gotta cut the camera when we catch this motherfucker.
That's the first thing I was thinking.
We ain't waiting on no police if I'm there. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
I guess we'll say, like, if the police don't show up.
Nah, they ain't no none of that. But this conversation never happened.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
But nah, that's on the real though, because I feel like that's big, and we Long Beach to the core though, so that's a big salute. Right. I didn't think this much was going on in the city. I know it's a lot of crime in the city, but I didn't think a lot of that was going on. So you brought some new awareness and light to me and myself. You know what I mean? So that's big. And like I said, we appreciate y'all. So hopefully y'all get y'all flowers while y'all here.
Appreciate
you know
it,
what I mean?
Absolutely. And let's try to get these guys some funding. To the people out there, donate. If you can't donate, lobby the fucking your local politician to get these guys some backing and some motherfucking help. Because the way that they being disrespected by the public and the law, man, that shit is totally out of line. Totally, completely out of line. Y'all got my 100% support. Anything I can do to help the movement,
appreciate it.
You got my number, tap in. I ain't gonna hesitate.
Appreciate it, brother.
We got to get these fucking weirdos off the street.
Facts.
We really need to get them off the earth. Like I said, these motherfuckers need to be getting castrated, unalive. You know what I'm saying? You can't say the K word no more, so we just gonna say unalive. But there's a whole lot of unalive that need to be going on.
Facts.
It's no amount of psychology and medication that can fix that. You know what I'm saying? We got to remove them motherfuckers from the earth. But
They know what they doing.
y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all follow, like, subscribe, all that. The Viral Way. Oh, follow my boy too. Follow my boy on
So
every
you gotta show
platform.
him your shirt.
Let him know.
Yeah.
Follow my boy on Rumble.
TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Forget this Instagram because they don't ban your boy again.
Nah, you got to get back on
come
that
on,
thing.
man.
Don't let them
Come
get you
on,
like
man.
that.
Yeah, I mean, they think they gonna stop me from doing this.
Yeah, that's what they trying to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Follow my boy on every platform, man. The Viral Way.
And if you see me around the city, you see this hairdo, just know I'm finna catch a creep.
Ain't no handouts, I did it from the ground up. In the streets, thugging hardest where they found us. Got a problem, nigga, watch my troopers mount up. My bitches bang too, and you a lame though. You niggas ain't outside, yeah, we came through. You want your lights up, we put you on the shade.